What kind of group?
So so in the meetup group, right? You're part of the Alchemist meetup, right? The real estate alchemy,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And
exactly.
so inside of those meetup groups, we have different sort of classes. And let me so inside that I'm gonna send you, I don't know why, Scars, I don't know why you don't have it yet, but I'm gonna send you the um the workbook, because if you register for the Zoom, it was kind of like part of the instructions. Um so that you can follow along, because otherwise you're going to be lost. I mean, I'm going to show it to you while we're doing this,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it helps for you to actually have that, because then you'll know what I'm talking about. So right now, this book, and if you go, like I said, if you could do it simply right now while we're waiting. No, you could do it right now. I'll go through this all, because this is your first time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So what it is I created this, as you can see, it's just like an ebook, right? And inside of it are about 8 chapters. And inside, so these classes are basically it's an 8 week rotation. Right now you're in week 5. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Part of the other weeks, and I'll just do a quick summary, was that you come up with like a nickname for yourself. That's kind of what this is and why. Um, the nickname is basically your branding name. So if you're gonna be, what do you do right now?
Right now, I do network marketing. I'm business owner
Okay, what company?
at Power Media.
Power Media. What do they sell network marketing wise?
I do the online marketing service and also the energy distributor.
So they have some kind of marketing service, and then there's levels to it, and you're a distributor.
Yeah,
So it's just,
for the water filter from Japan.
so if it's multi-level marketing, is it a service?
No, I do multi-level marketing. I also do the B2B online service and the B2C online service.
Okay. So for in network marketing, this may or may not work the same. I mean, if your name is Ray Higdon or somebody else, Eric Worre,
Yeah,
they've made names for themselves in network marketing. That's their name, that's their personal brand. Now, inside of that, there's probably, I don't know if there's millions, but there's certainly around the world plenty of people who do network marketing. And how do they stand out? And this is kind of like a way to stand out. I chose a very comical, cartoony kind of way, because visually it stands out in people's mind when they see this kind of artwork and this kind of design. They attach that to me. So if my name is Jason, and let's say there's 20 Jasons in your town doing the same network marketing sort of deal. Out of those
yeah,
20 Jasons, the Jason that has a different name, like Jason the marketer or Jason the giant, whatever, that Jason's going to be in people's mind more than just a regular Jason. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay. So part of this booklet was getting into the theory behind why you start to do personal branding. And, I go into music and history and, infamous nicknames. And we talk about why that is. It's because that sticks in a person's name, whether it's a good nickname, like, Mr. Poopy Pants, or if it's a bad, that's a bad nickname, or a good nickname, like, Eric the Conqueror, whatever. The point is, a person will remember that name more than anything. In fact, there was a study, and I don't remember where I saw it, but it was about in the post office, that they do wanted posters for criminals. And out of all the criminals that were in a wanted poster, the only ones people will remember were the ones that had like a cool nickname with them. Everybody else kind of was just like, they don't remember them. But if they had like a weird nickname, like the Boston Strangler or something like that, those are the ones that they would remember. So the point is, you do it so that you can be remembered over other people.
Hmm.
Um, and this, this is kind of why, right here inside the book, we go through why and how and what sort of come up with. Okay. So that was chapter one review. Chapter two, hey LD. Chapter two is kind of like, once you pick your nickname, your marketing, your personal brand name, like what you should go do right now. So one of the things I advised in another class was obviously get your own name as a .com, because you're gonna want that. So Chang.com, go get it. Now, if you had a cool name like, I don't know, like I said, Eugen the Giant, right? Go look for it on Gmail first, right? Why? Because Gmail is attached to YouTube. So if you're going to do YouTube videos in Gmail, you can grab that and have all the benefits of everything that comes with Google. And when people Google you, it's a lot easier. So I would go try to grab the closest thing to what you picked. And it's not always going to be there. For example, that dad next door at Gmail was taken for the most recent one I did. So I did the dad next door TV at Gmail because I really wanted it for the YouTube channel anyway. But all the other like Instagram and Facebook and all that, I was able to take that because nobody else really had that. I had to add something at the end of Instagram, like a little slash. But the point is, you try to get as many of those as possible: Twitter, Gmail, LinkedIn, da, 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 all of them, so that they all, when people are looking for you, they make no mistake and they can find you a lot quicker, because your name as it stands, there might be other people with the same name, it might be a common name. And how they're going to find you, how they're going to find the right person. And that's another reason why you make the nickname up, and then you grab as many as the social media accounts, or change yours to reflect that. And it's not going to be perfect, but the more original the nickname, the easier it's going to be to lock that in. You don't want to have a super long nickname either, because if you're going to get a website or anything like that, you really don't want, if you can help it, more than like 15 characters, because then it just becomes hard to spell. But you have to play with it. You have to go out there and kind of test it out, and see what's available. The the places you can go for personal branding, if you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, Canva is really good for this kind of stuff to play around with, and like you could make your own logos and stuff if you want it. But I would suggest going to like Fiverr, and not just hiring one person, but hire like four at the same time, and have them all give you different versions. And it's cheap enough where you can get something that you could really like, and just tell the other people no thank you. But that was one way. The way I used was using 99 Designs, because even though 99 Designs is a little bit more expensive, you get multiple people bidding on your art. So you can, 10 artists take your gig, you get 10 different artists showing you versions, and you only got to pay for the one you like. So that I like that. And that's kind of how this character came to be. And then once I got that one artist that I really liked for that branding, then I just kept them, whenever I needed an update, I would just call him back and say, hey, give me another version of this guy. So in my case, if you can see up here, when I wanted to do holiday stuff, or like this is the brand new guy. This was the original one. This is a Thanksgiving one, a patriotic one, a Spanish version of one, Latino version, another Thanksgiving version. This was a play off of a Bitcoin matrix one. Obviously, this is Christmas. This one was New Year's, St. Patrick's Day, who I just used, Halloween, another patriotic one, Easter. I was a firefighter, so that came into play. The point is, once you got somebody, you can actually do something like that to stand out in people's mind, which was I updated all my logos. You do it once, and then you just every year you kind of just bring them out during that season. And you know, if whatever person you pick or logo you pick, you can always have a holiday, or a holiday version of it, and people pick up on that, and they're like, oh, that's kind of cool. So that sticks. That's another way to stick out in people's minds. So that's the review of that chapter. And again, if you're just tuning in, you're going to need this book so you can reference what we're talking about. Last week was, no, not last week, the week before, Chapter 3 goes over who your story is, who you are, who, why should people give a crap about you? And it's really your story. Your why needs to be bigger than just I want to make money being a network marketer. I want to make money being a real estate investor, because everybody wants to make money doing everything, and nobody really cares about you until you give them a reason to care. And normally that reason to care is not your business, because that's just something they do when they need you, or they need that kind of service. They care about your story, like who are you? So with me, you know, my big why is I want to see 100 kids adopted through my influence, in my within my lifetime. And so everything I do starts to revolve around that story. In the beginning, I didn't have that story. It was just Daddy's Fast Cash was a dad who can get you fast cash for your home. So that was the branding for the real estate. Then it evolved to Dad's Pads when I had properties that I wanted to rent on Airbnb. Dad's Pads was what that was. And it was an evolution. And now with the dad next door, it's kind of like this is more me. Um, my marketing is broader than just me now. It's about all dad entrepreneurs, and I interview them and we talk about it and we try to help each other out in any way we can. So your brand will eventually evolve, but what you got to get really clear now is your why you're doing it all, and it's got to be bigger than money, and everybody's got a family, so bigger than that. I would say make it something so big that it seems impossible, like a dream, but you would be surprised that other people have a similar dream and they really enroll in your story, and that's what gets them to become you know, to get to like, know, and trust you. So inside your branding is your story. Inside your branding is also like the things you love. So it could be real estate and cooking, real estate and wine. Um, could be network marketing and motorcycles. But the point is you're gonna want to show that personal part, your personal hobbies or loves or passions, and kind of also mix that together, and so that you have this nice, I like to say Reese's peanut butter cup. When chocolate meets peanut butter and you get this awesome combination, you become that awesome combination that people start to pay attention to. And the only way they get to do that is by getting to know a little bit more about you. So what's your passions and your why? Um, you know, it can be as big or as small as you like. Well, the bigger the better, because like what do they say? If you shoot for the moon, you'll at least reach the stars, even though that doesn't really make sense. But the analogy is just you shoot so far that along the way you're at least going to make some really big strides, instead of just like, hey, I want to make $1 million. It's like, well, why do I want to make $1 million? Is because I want to, in my case, um so right now, just explain it to you, this I want to be instrumental in the adoption of 100 kids before I die. My journey to 100, right? Even though I misspelled it there, I didn't catch that, but the point is that's the journey to 100. Well, under that is this I, along with Alchemist Nation, and also another friend of mine. People have these own personal missions. Jared, for example, wants to help build 10,000 tech companies by the year 2031. Galter wants to make 100 millionaires. I think that those both those things are great. So let's say I want to make 100 millionaires. Well, why? Because if I can make 100 tech companies, if I can help Jared make 100 of his tech companies towards his 10,000, that helps him with his goal. That also helps me, because if I can make 100 tech companies, that means that I probably made 100 millionaires, the people that were in those tech companies, those founders. And of those founders, there are 100 of them are going to be millionaires. I mean, if you make a tech company, a successful temp company, a millionaire is probably not even, that's just a given, right? So of those 100 millionaires, a percentage of them will probably be, have finances, room in their heart to consider adopting a child. Not all of them, but a percentage. So that way, I'm able to fit that into my journey to 100 kids being adopted, because I was able to be instrumental in helping those people get to a point where they now want to have that conversation about adoption. So why I'm telling you this story is because that might resonate with you, might not, doesn't matter. The point is, that's my thing. That's what I tell people, and it resonates with who it's supposed to resonate with, and it doesn't with who it's supposed to. And you don't need to appeal to everybody. You just need to find the people that have the same ideas and passions as you do, because that becomes your tribe, and those are the people that eventually become, people you do business with or customers, right? So that's why your story matters, because once you get it down, and once you have a big enough story, it's going to inspire people to want to do business with you more than just the 10 other Jasons that they could do business with, or the 10 other LDs or Erics or Yu Jangs. This particular person is on the same path as me, and they like the same things I like. So if I had to pick from anybody, I'm going to pick that person. And that's what you want. So number 4 review was graphic content. Let me see. This just has to do with your marketing, right? And I just mentioned it. Try not, you don't have to appeal to everybody. You need to find who your people are, your tribe. Part of that comes from your story. Part of that becomes from your demeanor. Maybe you're just not a suit and tie guy. I happen to joke around a lot. I like a lot of cartoons. I surround myself with them. And a lot of people have told me, well, that's not professional. And to those people, I say, because I don't care. Like, I want to enjoy what I do. What you can go enjoy what you do. If you feel like it's unprofessional, then we're probably not going to do good business together. We're probably not going to. I mean, we might do one thing, but in reality, if that bothers you that much, we're probably just not going to. We're probably not going to be good friends. We're probably not going to be a good match for each other. And if nothing else, to be honest, you don't want to try to appeal to everybody. You want to either have them love you or hate you. When you're in the middle, they don't care about you. That they just don't care about you. Like, there's just they don't think about you. If you're in their mind, love or hate, you're in their mind. So what you have the opportunity to is the ones that love you will support you eventually. The ones that hate you still support you because your name is in their mind, and maybe someday they come over to your side if you're true to who you are and you keep doing it, and they grow as a person, and maybe they just, why am I being silly, and eventually those people, you win them over, or they just hate you forever. But either way, it doesn't matter, because even hateful comments and stuff like that on social media help build your social media. So all of it is all that attention, whether it's positive or negative, is still attention. It's still energy, right? And that energy is going towards your brand. How you just have to, harness it. Let's just say, harness it for good. But the energy you don't want is, or the lack of energy is, they don't care. So don't be scared of being a little controversial. I'm not saying go hard on politics or religion or anything that really ticks people's buttons. Although if that is what you stand for, then to use with caution, but do it. Don't be a pussy. Just be you. The point is, your authenticity needs to shine in your brand, because at the end of the day, those are the people, whether they're going to do it publicly or privately, they're going to want to work with you or support you in some manner, whether it is a referral, because I get a lot of referrals. People don't know what to do. Man, you're not in my business, but I know somebody and I like you, so I know I'm gonna just gonna hook you up with that person. That happens all the time. So that's what I'm saying. Don't be afraid to be you, whoever that is, because there are people like you out there that will support you in this. Don't ride the middle line. And these 2 resources are in the book. Jab Jab Right Hook. This is a free download. I think it still works. Great book by Gary Vee. And this 1,000 True Fans. The theory of this is you want to get to your 1,000 true fans as soon as you can, because those are the people that will eventually support you throughout life. As long as you're good to them and you keep giving them value, they'll reciprocate. So that's what chapter 4 last week was about. Here's the resources for that. And now we're going to move on to chapter 5, so that anybody watching this video can not have to go through all the chapters before. So here's some of the resources like that you can use, stuff that you can do on your phone to help you build your brand, right? Excuse me. You're gonna have to market yourself. Bitmoji, if it still exists, it's kind of cool because you can, I think it still does. You can make little avatars of yourself in different ways and post them on pictures or just as standalone pictures. And it's a fun kind of way to um, take your personal brand, take your brand and make it a little bit more personal. Now with Facebook and some other apps, there's like built in um, these avatars, right? Right on Facebook, you can just choose to make this little avatar, and you can play around with that. But it's something. It keeps the vibe flowing. Visually, it's interesting. Long as you don't abuse it. And what I mean by abuse it is like every post is an avatar. Then it gets a little bit too much. But like mix it up, so it just keeps things interesting, right? Um, and here's the link to that. Ripple was pretty good, and I should probably change this because I want to say they started charging completely, and I use it a lot, but when they started like forcing you to pay for it, then I kind of like bounced off of it. Canva actually is great. I would say that's probably like a number one tool for you if you want to start trying to create like what's cool is you can create, logos, you can change your logos around. Yeah, obviously you can do a lot of things that would you'd normally do in Photoshop, but it's a lot quicker in Canva and easier to do. Saves it, and then you can actually use it on your phone pretty easy. And also you can make like little movies when you have the paid version. You can make like little, you know, animations. And that part right there is always good to catch people's eyes. We live in a world where people want to see content, and it can get overwhelming because it's just a machine. But if you have a cool logo, you can always animate it once a week and kind of post it out there and get some likes and just keep it in people's mind and play around with it on Canva. So, I mean, I just did one yesterday. I kind of remixed it a little bit and put it on my Facebook profile. So don't be afraid to like take all your old stuff and kind of remix it in Canva, or make it jump around or animate it. Or when you want to do like some social media stuff, you can go in Canva, make like a little 5 second like video or carousels as they do now. Just a series of pictures that add up to a story. Canva can do all of that. You just go in there and start playing with it. There's a free version and there's a paid version. I got the paid version, which is good because if you ever get a virtual assistant to start doing these things, they can get an email login up to 5 people or under your account. So you can share it with people, and it's only like 100 something a year. So that is a highly recommended tool. Memes. So as you know, memes are everybody speaks in memes now, right? Memes, I don't know. It depends who you ask, but having a sense of humor is huge in today's society. Over all things, it seems like even over truth. If it's funny, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Like it still gets more attention. So to that end, you can get like these kind of apps like Meme Maker and make your own like memes or little jokes about things. I used to do it all the time about wholesaling or real estate, and there's plenty of them already out there, so I would use them. But on top of that, you can take these memes and then make them yours, make your own, make some good ones, find a good joke, make it into a meme, and use your little branding logo to go with it. And people start to get to know who you are and like what kind of person you are. And if you have a good sense of humor, it definitely opens doors where ones would not be open before. I'll give you an example. People are more likely to reach out to you directly if you want, like regular people, not necessarily just business people, Instagram or Facebook, than I would say in LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is just full of crazy spam. People just, it's always offer, 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 and no sense of humor. Generally, now that's not now, but I'm saying overall, that's my impression of it. So, depending if that's your tribe or not, or who you want to appeal to as customers, the regular Joe, or if you're business to business. If you're business to business, obviously, LinkedIn is probably a better way to go. Facebook's a middle ground. Instagram's more personal. It just depends on what social media you use. Meme Maker can help with that, with your sense of humor. I use iFunny when I want ideas to laugh at, just to kind of keep content rolling where I don't have to come up with it. And it's an easy way to kind of keep in people's minds when you don't have something to sell, because humor, jokes, that's still adding value to their life. If they're passing something and they laugh, I don't know how many times people told me I'll be somewhere and they're like, yo, that they like, I haven't seen them in like months, and they're like, and they find them like, oh my God, you just, every time I see you on one of your posts, it just makes me laugh. And I'm like, that's cool, because that first of all, it makes you feel good. And second of all, like, that even though they never told you on social media, that people are watching you and that they're appreciating what you do, because for all you do, you might get maybe 10% feedback on social media, but be advised, make sure that you realize that just because that's some people that say they tell you they react to that, that's not everybody that saw it or watches you. That's just that small percentage that decided to like engage. But as we all know, not everybody engages. Sometimes we just consume. But if you're giving them something valuable in your personal branding and your humor and your delivery of content, they're going to, over time, you're going to be part of the TV channel that they watch in their mind, if that makes sense. Gary Vee is very good at talking about attention arbitrage and why, and that's basically what you're doing. And it's a crowded, noisy world out there, but these are some of the ways to cut through the noise. And sometimes it's as simple as a funny joke. So these were some hashtags you could kind of go with. Hashtags, you got to look it's not in here, but hashtags are something you got to look for the trending ones. If you're smart, you got to find one. So when you're creating content, you can go on Google, see what's trending, or Instagram or TikTok or any of them, and just kind of find what's the trends. And normally, if you want attention on something, you're going to look at the trends and then see if you can create a piece of content that is in line with that trend. Or like in the case of TikTok, music. If there's a musical trend that you can take advantage of, like for example, if the other week the two of us, the song "The Two of Us" was trending, so I just made a video of me and my son and I don't know, for Busch Gardens, right? But that got views because I used a trending song, even though it was just something with me and him that we just did just for TikTok. The point is, if you're smart, you will try to use as many trending kind of hashtags, and it's just extra juice you can get for your content. So you don't like put it out there and like get 0 views. This is a way to get some views, which is what you want, right? This is kind of just talking about the book Jab Jab, Jab Jab Right Hook. And we just go through some of the branding tools here for the chapter. There's more, but this is like this part of the chapter. Chapter 2, there's more stuff. So yeah, so that's the review of this chapter. And then now, hopefully, if you guys can actually turn on cameras, if you have some questions about personal branding that I can maybe help you with, I have another 20 minutes or so that I can field questions or talk about anything you need to talk about in terms of branding. I know that this meetup is specifically for real estate, and that is my background. I was a wholesaler. Well, I fix and flips plenty of houses, wholesaled a whole lot more, Airbnb'd quite a bit, and now I'm retired doing other things, but I'm actually investing in an apartment building soon, and the only thing that's stopping me right now is this family trust that was created to be complete, but it might be complete as of today. And then other investments, I got a deal, a flip going on in Indiana. So I have a lot of things going on within the real estate space, an app called USHX that I'm on the board of. I'm also involved in some other things real estate related, but my passion more is, branding and that kind of stuff, because talking about real estate gets boring. A million people do it already. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tim Bratz, who does apartment building. He's kind of apartment building guru, but I interviewed him last night for my show. And so I still am in that world. I just don't choose to like hammer people over the head with it. But if you have questions about real estate, I am a part, like I said, of the Alchemist Nation. They chose me because I have experience with that. And so, I don't want to talk it to death, but if you guys want to come off mute and ask some questions, I'm here. You start right now. So LD, did you want to come on camera, or Eric? I'll give you a minute. All right, so doesn't seem like they're feeling that. And I don't want to be talking to myself. Hey, there you go.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you doing?
So what kind of questions you got? Good.
I'm really new. Like I'm just getting in the world of business and real estating and investing. and I'm really like interested in it. And like my only question as a newbie or whatever, like, is like resources, how to get more information on that world, or how to get more involved. For example, like in real estate, how do things work in general, like, or how do you find a deal, or how to things, I'm reading books about like the whole different way of thinking, but I'm finding difficult is like how to more concrete stuff, more real real stuff, like, more real things. Do you know what I'm saying?
So I'm going to share this. Give me 1 second. Share screen. I need to share you that. Okay. So as part of this meetup, Alchemist Nation, right? So there's a lot of free sources, and this right here is a good way to start. These go on every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Oh, okay.
You can see you can see that right there. You can opt into that Zoom call live, and it's 52 weeks of every week is a different wealth principle, right? That have to do with moving you along in real estate, and it'll rotate. But it started. I want to say they started about 5 weeks ago now. So if you get on now, you're not gonna miss.
Yeah, I was yesterday with one of his meeting, like Golter Maryland meeting.
So there's different ones, right? There's more general, and then there's specific. Like there's a specific real estate meeting, like wholesale.
Okay.
Sorry, there's a specific wholesaling meeting, right?
Oh, okay.
And then there's there's a like this one's more generic mindset, but you really need that first anyway, just so that you can kind of like as you're moving forward, you know what to focus on and what not to focus on.
Okay?
Yeah. That would be the
Yes.
Saturday one, this more general one. But I don't know where you're coming in, meaning like what you want to do first. So I would say start with this and then ask a lot of questions. Saturday meetings, because and it even happens inside this particular, like in the recordings, if you go back to there's people that come in, like I don't know what you're doing now for money, but you might have a business that's already running. Is that accurate, or you're just a college? Like tell me about yourself a little bit.
So I'm a student, like I'm a sophomore year, but I'm taking a gap year because I think like education, the way of education here, it's like kind of old style, and really not where the focus is going to, to be like. So like that's why I got into investing and like
What are you going
business
to
world.
school? What are you going to school for?
I used to go for aerospace engineering.
Okay. So that's a very probably demanding educational track. Did you do it because you have prospects when you come out, or you just took an interest in that?
I just had an interest. I've always been into the electronic and stuff like this, but also I've been like really into business thing, like the whole selling thing. But I wanted to get more serious about it, more than just absurd,
Are there any entrepreneurs in your family? Like
No,
or
no.
okay, you're the first, and where you located?
I'm located in Chicago area.
Okay. So to you, is real estate just a means to an end? Like you want to know more about it because you just want money, or is there something more to that?
It's a little bit of everything, like getting to know more about it, like having a career in it, and the goal of like becoming financial free and financially like, how do you say, like
That's accurate. So
free? Yeah.
so if you had money didn't matter, what would you do with yourself? Like what would you be waking up every day like, I get to do this? What's that thing in your head? Is it aerospace? Is it working on airplanes or engineering?
No,
What is it?
as a I'm type of person that I do not like to work physically. I like to use my mind to work. So, and if money didn't exist, I would be getting every day and be like thinking about how to change something, how to do something, but everything in my mind and not less physical work. Like it's same as like solving a problem as an engineer and then handing it to a professional worker. You know what I'm saying?
I do. You sound like you're an idea guy. You're an
Yes.
engineer. You like to find problems, tear them apart, put them
Yes.
back together, make them better. That accurate?
Yes. Come with a solution, basically.
Okay. So in the chat, I'm giving you a link. And what that is a link to is something that I'm doing with, I help people develop their ideas, tech ideas, specifically apps that could change the world. How I came to do that obviously was just relationships and hooking up with another dad that had a similar mission. Before you got on, I think I was talking about it, but either way. And I ran an idea by him that I had from doing Airbnbs about trash. And it went from something simple to something that could possibly change the world if done right. But I did not have all the pieces. I just had an idea. I knew that there was technology out there that if they were put together the right way would make that possible, but I didn't know how. So I took I presented it to them and they got excited about it, and now we're in partnership to create this thing. Okay. He also offered me the opportunity to bring more people like that think like that have ideas like that might not know how to take them from concept
A to B.
to delivery. Yeah. And he was like, look, we got everything. We got a company in India that we own a piece of, that 200 employees, we own it. 200 employees, make anything you need tech wise. We got location in America. We got marketing. We got sales. We got operators. We got everything a person could need. And you bring in the right idea, and we joint venture with you and take you through the process so that you can learn how to do this. I mean, you're like Shark Tank. They come in,
Yeah.
you got an idea, I want this much, and then I'm going to come and put all my research to work so that this thing makes money, because I don't want to do anything that doesn't make money, but I still want to change the world. So there's both. There's a great idea that's only going to benefit you. Who cares? A great idea that's going to benefit you and millions of other people, and like actually change something. Now that's what we're talking about. So I sent that to you. If you got anything, feel free to fill that out. And if you have something like that, anybody because it sounds like you're an idea guy if you're into engineering, and you may just have that. But back to the real estate, because I don't want to take you too far off. Real estate is a means towards an end. Transactionally, so like I would say inside of real estate, and I don't know how you're going to get here yet, but there's arguably 5 ways you can make money in real estate. But the core 4 usually are wholesaling. I mean, the 5th would be just being an agent, but the core ones inside of real estate and being a real estate investors are like wholesaling, fix and flip, fix and keep, and so they call it fix BRR method.
BRR,
yeah. You buy it, you rehab it, and you refi it, and you just accumulate that. And then the last one will be like note investing, and that is simply being a bank. Now, if you're a person of means and you want to be involved in real estate, but you don't want to get your hands dirty or worry about tenants, toilets, trash, all that kind of stuff, note investing is kind of the way to go. And if you are on the smarter side and you like math and you like to sit back and think of possible outcomes, and you're like paperwork, you love paperwork and you just love, the mechanics of like finance, notes could be it, because at the end of the day, you grab the right one and you do it the right way. And it's just an ATM. You're not doing nothing, and you're not worrying about all the typical stuff like the rising price of labor and the rising price of materials, and this municipality changing this thing, and delays and all that stuff that gets screwed up in between. You're just like, give me my money. So that's the side that not a lot of people talk about too much, because it's not sexy as flipping the house. They don't talk about that on TV, but that's a side that people would really like to get to. Now, if you don't have 100 grand, 200 grand, $1 million to throw around like that, then how do you get there? Well, wholesaling, fixing the other ways. Okay. You just got to kind of determine, okay, like this path that I'm on, is my why big enough to take me there? Because at the end of the day, all of this is great and it's going to get me to where I want to go. But where is it that I really want to go? Because there are sometimes just going straight at it is the better move than going sideways and thinking that this is the way and that is the way. I'm hoping that makes sense. In other words, real estate will be a means towards an end. Unless you
Yeah,
really love the idea of real estate, love the idea of being an architect and building buildings and design and all that. If you love that, then yes, this can be for you and you build your way up to that. But if
yeah.
that's not your true love in the end, then I would say analyze that and just say, okay, this is one way within this framework. How much of this do I have to do to get to that next level? Because your why, you have to have your why you're doing it all. Because if you don't, you're gonna give up on it. You're gonna be like, ah, fuck this, da, da, da. Like just like it's a lot. It's it's good money. Sometimes it's easy money. More times than not, it's not easy money. And you gotta have that desire for at least the beginning of this to like just really want to understand real estate. So let me ask you that: is that where you're at right now? You're in love with real estate in your head right now that you just want to like understand it and get your hands dirty and all that kind of stuff?
Well, honestly, like my background, like because I'm not from US, like I come from Europe, and I've had the background, like my background is like architect, engineering. Like I always love to like interior design. Like my room would change like every 2 weeks because of my ideas that come in my mind. Oh, I like to send my bed there, and like different things. And for example, like how people see it, or oh, someone might want some more light incoming in this room. So let's do this, let's do that, or like different questions. And I've had like a chance like to build houses with my family, and like even where I live now, like we are just remodeling the whole house, and they were really like paying attention on my ideas because they really saw something on it, and that was like a indicator for me to say that, hey, I might be good at it. And another point is like that math is my strongest point. Math and physics are my strongest points, and I've been excellent since I was a kid with it. And so there are a lot of components that like make me think that real estate is a really nice thing about.
And when you explain it to me that way, I think you're right. I think that within real estate, you can create that space for yourself. Um, because creatively, you have a knack. And if you can keep the math under control, because sometimes those are opposites, like you have the creative type, which they'll spend any amount of money to get their vision out there. And then you have the math types, which are you need to do this creative thing within this budget. But if you have both sides, if both sides of your brain can wrap your head around both of those, because it's your money, and while art, while there's the art is beautiful to look at, you have to find where the balance is, the compromise, so that you can make money with your art. It's like the idea of a starving artist versus a artist like an Andy Warhol that understood commercialism and how movies are made, where everybody can complain about it as much as they want, but they won't get made if they never make any money, because then nobody has a reason to make the movies. So if you can resolve that with what you're doing, then yeah, you can make money. Because especially when it comes to design, um, Europe and Asia, they're really used to making a lot of getting a lot more out of the space than Americans do, because we like a lot of space, but they don't have a lot of space. So design is just
Yes.
everything's scaled down and everything's very efficient and compact, and things have multiple uses, but it doesn't seem crammed together and haphazard. It's just the design of the whole thing really flows, and people love a good design. So I would say that that would be one way to get into a space, is maybe even teaming up with people who or a partner who might have the finances, and you're bringing design. Let's say they have finances and some experience, and then you have the design and the math, the math, the idea to stay on a budget, that might be a good partnership. So yeah, and then I was saying, especially in like the Airbnb sort of space, where again, the numbers, you want to be able to do things for cheap and smart and systematize them. So that's your engineering and design part. But you don't want to spend way too much money because you're not going to see that back so fast, especially if it's something you're doing rental arbitrage on where you don't really own the place. So yeah, you're there's something there. You just have to find your groove and find the right people to get in there with. And when and taking this journey, you're going to start speaking their language. It's going to be a lot easier for you to get those opportunities. So yeah, I would tap into this 52 millionaire wealth principles, and I would start to try to identify people that are real estate agents that are also investors, because they're going to have that same mindset as you, because a real estate investor money has money, like they want to make money, but an agent and someone who sells knows that the product has to be really good and tight, and they're going to be able to tell you like, here's what we can do, here's what we should do, here's what we should stay away from, even though that sounds amazing. And that kind of combination of reigns, you could probably find, like I said, a real estate investor that's also a real estate agent, is probably a good place to like a good person to start to identify, um, where you can like probably do some decent business, because they're going to appreciate the art part that you're going to bring to this and the design part,
Mhm.
because if no one else, they appreciate it the most. I mean, so does the end buyer, but again, the commercial part of it, what sells and what doesn't, what's worth it and what's worth it to improve, what's going to get me the most bang for my buck, versus like, don't do that because it's not, nobody gives a crap about that. You might, but they don't, like the person
Mhm.
buying. So yeah.
Yeah, it's where you see the focus. Where is your focus, like in yourself or in others? And that's why I said before, like, money is not the reason that I'm starting, because I'm sure that there are like a ton of other things that you can do to get money and to make money. But it's more that, oh well, I can do this, but then this can give you money, give me money. So why not? Try it. And that's why I'm in that learning process and looking for to meet people. And because like I believe like you become who you stay with, kind of stuff. So like,
You surround yourself with, yeah.
yes, surround, yeah, who you surround with yourself with. And so like that's why I'm trying to like, because my friends are not, I have like a couple friends that are like, for example, like in stock market and investing and stuff, but I would like to know more like professionals and experienced, so and things become more real, and so I can, my mind is different, sitting in a different position than staying with someone that's always like has been an employer and don't know much about the world of an entrepreneur. And
So your next step should be, I would say, tap into these on 10, right? And then in your hometown, I would start, I mean, there's meetups obviously, but I would try to get in some Airbnb groups and maybe volunteer to give someone a design consultation just to see what happens. See who, just say,
sorry, let me get
don't
a
lie.
pen, please. Let me
Huh?
get a pencil. All right, sorry about that. I just wanted to write those things down.
You're just gonna go and let me see. I can stop. Like I said, hopefully you got this walteramarillo.com live. You can tap into that Zoom meeting. I also sent you, like I said, if you got ideas for tech stuff, um, in your own hometown, you're going to want to get into like say like a Facebook Airbnb group and start to monitor what people are, the people that are taking the pictures, the people that are asking design questions, and maybe, offer like a free, design consultation. Just say, I'm just starting out, I'd love to just see what you guys got going on, see if there's a way I can improve it. So you can start getting into houses and seeing how they work and just talking to people that are doing the business. That might spark something there. And also with real estate agents, and just maybe ask them a lot of questions about like, who do you go to for design? Maybe you start to hook up with some home stagers because they're going to, so there's people that stage homes for sale, and they have like, they have furniture, they go in, they design a place for sale. But there's other home stagers, like some of the ones I've used, that will stage for like Airbnbs. And those people are going to know design people, or they're going to be design people. Either way, if you want to be in that world, those are the people you start trying to make friends and get to know, because you want to absorb from them where they can get in, where they can get in. Yeah, I ain't this.
So how do you do that? Like, like Facebook groups, you just look up on Facebook and like
start with Facebook groups. It's one of the easier ones, because you can just hook up in there, you know what I mean, like get the person's information and so forth. I got to wrap this up.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
hopefully you start with that kind of stuff, and that takes you on your journey, because I mean that's what I got for you right now.
Yeah, thank you so much, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. And it was good meeting you. Maybe I'll see you in
Yeah.
another one of these. And then when you opted into this, I got your email, so all this stuff's recorded, and they're kept to a YouTube channel. You could just go look at the other episodes and kind of
Okay.
what people said. So it's good that you write notes. You should always write notes, but if you ever forgot something, you could just go back and find it in the video.
Yeah, definitely. And what's the YouTube channel name?
Let me see. Let me see if I can pull up. I can just shoot you the link. I'm going to shoot you the playlist, because but like I said, it'll still come to you. I usually send it out. Hold on, my channel playlists. All right, this is the playlists. Beautiful playlist. Okay, and like I said, this one will even be there later, probably over the weekend. So that's the playlists directly to this. The channel itself, I have.
Okay.
I put an interview show and other stuff on there, but that takes you right to these brand new ones. So that should do you justice. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in today, and hopefully that was helpful. And I'll see you in some stuff. And
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
And nice to meet you too. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep. See ya.
Live stream.